51-year-old Mark Murphy and 49-year-old Cherie Glastonbury had been charged with the murder of 55-year-old Jeffrey McLean in Adelaide, Australia, after his dismembered body was found in a willy bin on a Salisbury South paddock in October last year. Andrews farm man had been reported missing several weeks earlier, after he was last seen on the 18th of August. Only his torso was found in the willy bin, with police still trying to locate his head and limbs. Cherie and Jeffrey reportedly lived together and were in a relationship. Mark was believed to be known to the woman. Mark was arrested on Thursday the 2nd of March. The following day, detectives searched Cherie's house at 21 Leicester Grove in Andrews Farm and took her into custody. Police said that around 4:45 a.m. on the 24th of August, CCTV footage from an industrial premises in Salisbury South showed lights in the area and suggested that two people were carrying torches or wearing headlamps entered an area where the remains were located. The willy bin and human remains were discovered in October in a vacant lot underneath trees and vegetation in Salisbury South, about 8 miles from where Jeffrey lived. Along with the willy bin and dumped remains, police found 2 shovels, a post hole digger and a gardening fork at the site, with a number of them being in relatively new condition. Authorities said they believe the gardening tools were used by the suspects, who tried to bury Jeffrey's body in the paddock before giving up because the ground was too hard, although disturbed and dumped it in the willy bin instead. Police later confirmed the willy bin used had been stolen from a property in Eastview Street at Palmer Lodge, about 900 metres from the scene. Authorities said that Jeffrey had been subject to 4 violent attacks in the months prior to his disappearance. On the 10th of April, he was attacked with acid, and 3 days later Mark struck him in the head with a log splitter, causing serious head injuries. On the 9th of May, his car was set on fire at his home, and on the 10th of May, he had a bucket of acid thrown over him, causing serious burns to his upper back and shoulders. Along with the murder charges, Mark and Cherie faced a string of charges for assault, attempted murder, arson and trespass relating to these prior attacks. Authorities said they believe they know why Jeffrey was killed, but did not want to comment on the motive, other than to say it was not drug-related. They both remain held without bail. A 17-year-old boy is in custody in connection with a domestic-related home invasion that left 3 people dead and a 4th person wounded on Sunday night in Bolingbrook, Illinois. At around 8:15 p.m. on the 5th of March, authorities responded to a report of a possible home invasion at 123 Lee Lane. When officers arrived at the residence, they found 4 victims who had been shot. A man and 2 girls were pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities have identified 2 of the 3 people killed as 40-year-old Cartez Daniels and 17-year-old Samaya Shelton Tillman, who is said to have been in a relationship with the suspect. A 3rd victim is yet to be identified by the DuPage County Coroner's Office. A 4th victim, a 34-year-old woman, was listed in a critical condition at the hospital. 2 other juveniles, a 14-year-old boy and a 4-year-old boy, were inside the residence at the time of the shooting, and both were unharmed. A woman whose name remains anonymous said her son was playing an online video game with a child inside the home at the time. He heard gunshots and got out, and then he didn't hear his friend anymore. Following the shooting, police quickly identified the suspect, who was found near his residence at around 10 p.m. and was taken into custody. The suspect, who hasn't been named, is believed to have acted alone. Formal charges have yet to be approved by the Will County State Attorney's Office. Police declined to comment on a motive. A 31-year-old woman was arrested for indecent exposure for publicly urinating at the Shami Far Park in Gainesville, Florida on Thursday morning. Officers said that while at the park, Kimberly White took off her clothes and started to urinate. She was arrested by Gainesville police for indecent exposure. A witness told officers that Kimberly urinated twice at the park. Her 2-year-old son was with her at the time. Jail records indicate that she's no longer behind bars.